Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a really crucial lesson from the St. Paul Information Technology Framework and turning it into, well, your ultimate digital survival guide. We'll be focusing heavily on the essentials of computer basics and internet communication. Because look, if you're a 7th grade learner, or honestly, literally anyone using a screen today, mastering your digital life isn't just an option anymore. It is a critical life skill. We're going to look at the actual hardware in your hands, the software you use every single day, and how the internet actually moves information around. Get ready to completely challenge what you think you know.
So, let me ask you this. Are you really in control of your digital footprint? It's incredibly common to assume that just because you grew up with technology, because, you're a so-called digital native, you just automatically know everything there is to know about online privacy, networks, and internet services. You might know how to swipe, tap, and post way faster than anyone else, sure, but understanding the computing systems running quietly in the background, that's a completely different story. Are you actually directing your digital footprint, or is the technology directing you?
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Privacy and security realities. 2. The credibility trap. 3. Responsible communication. 4. The worked scenario. And finally, 5. Building your digital citizen toolkit. Let's get started.
Section 1. Privacy and Security Realities. Busting myths about your files and accounts.
All right, when dealing with your files and hardware, there's this classic myth out there. Hey, I deleted that photo, that comment, or that file, so it's totally gone. Well, I hate to break it to you, but when we actually look at how networks function, that is simply not true. The reality? Digital footprints are permanent. When you use software to upload something, it doesn't just live locally on your hardware. It gets transmitted across networks and copied onto massive external servers. So even if you hit delete on your own device, that data is often archived somewhere else. The internet has an incredibly long memory, and everything you do contributes to a permanent trail.
Building on that, we really need to talk about privacy settings for a second. Now, having your account set to private is absolutely a best practice for digital safety, no doubt about it. But private does not mean invisible. Your data is still traveling across networks, the platforms you use, your internet service providers, and potentially a whole bunch of third-party apps still interact with your information. The critical takeaway here is that you've got to take responsibility for managing your files and accounts at all times, completely regardless of whatever software settings you happen to have toggled on. Ultimately, you are your own best defense.
Let's move to see how this builds in Section 2, the credibility trap, evaluating internet services and search results.
Now, I want you to think about your own search strategies for a moment. When you type a query into a search engine and you get millions of hits in just a fraction of a second, man, it feels like you've been handed the ultimate objective truth, right? But here is a major misconception we have to confront. If a search engine found it, it is not automatically a fact. Search algorithms are basically just software programs. They're designed to prioritize popularity, relevance to your specific search terms, and, even paid advertising. They're incredibly efficient at finding information, for sure, but they are not designed to verify if that information is actually true.
So how do we know what's true? Well, this brings us to a foundational concept for navigating the internet: credibility. It's the quality of being trusted and believed in, especially when it comes to digital sources and media. We live in a world where internet services allow literally anyone to publish a web page, upload a video, or write a blog post in a matter of minutes. Because of that, evaluating credibility is your absolute primary defense against misinformation. It's not just about finding info anymore, it's about proving that the information is actually worthy of your trust.
And this brilliantly illustrates why smart digital citizens must actively question the media presented to them. The myth that the top search result is just this undisputed fact is a really dangerous trap. The reality is that anyone can publish online. Therefore, you have to carefully evaluate your sources. Ask yourself, who wrote it? Why did they write it? What's their angle here? As a user of computing systems, the responsibility of verifying the truth falls entirely on your shoulders. Let's transition to Section 3, Responsible Communication, the rules of digital collaboration. Now, what about the information that we produce ourselves? It sounds super simple, but honestly, it's the most easily forgotten rule of the entire internet. Behind every single screen, every avatar, and every email address is a real human being. Whether you're collaborating on a shared document for a school project, sending an email to a teacher, or just chatting on a network, basic human empathy has to dictate your actions. The technology is just a tool. Responsible digital behavior requires us to remember the humanity on the receiving end of our data packets. Here's a major pitfall in digital media. The myth goes, oh, it's just a joke, they'll know I'm kidding. The hard fact? Tone is almost entirely lost in text-based online communication. When we speak in person, we use facial expressions, hand gestures, our vocal inflection, all to convey meaning. Software strips literally all of those physical cues away. Sarcasm can so easily be read as cruelty. A quick, hurried reply can be read as anger. You absolutely must actively pause and consider how your words might be interpreted before you hit send. Be overly clear and always default to respect. So, the crucial point is how we actually use this. Section 4. The worked scenario, putting your skills into practice.
Learning all this is great in theory, but let's see how we actually apply it in the wild. Picture this scenario. You're scrolling through a social network on your phone. You see a headline that is absolutely shocking. It makes you feel angry, surprised, or maybe even a little scared. Your immediate, instinctual urge, an urge that, by the way, social media software is specifically designed to trigger, is to share it immediately with all your friends so they can see it too. You want to be the one to break the news, right? Now, here's how a trained digital citizen handles that urge, using a quick, step-by-step mental algorithm. Step 1. Pause. Just take a breath. You break the emotional reaction cycle. Step 2. Check the source URL. Look really closely at the web address. Does it look like a legitimate news organization, or is it some strange, slightly misspelled domain name? Step 3. Evaluate the tone. Is the article written to calmly inform you, or is it written entirely in all caps, designed to make you furious? Step 4. Based on that quick evaluation, you revise your choice to share. You take control back from the software.
And look at the amazing result of taking back control. You realize the shocking headline was actually from a totally fake source designed to spread misinformation. Boom. Instead of contributing to the problem, you made a responsible choice. You stopped the spread of bad info. And maybe you even respectfully collaborate with your peers by letting them know the post they're seeing just as incredible. That, right there, is what effective and responsible use of a computing system looks like in action.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can bring it all together. Section 5, the Digital Citizen Toolkit, your checklist for responsible use.
Let's completely distill everything we've just learned into a daily operating manual for the internet. Here is your toolkit. 1. Protect your passwords and accounts. That's your very first line of defense. 2. Remember your digital footprint is permanent. Networks never forget. 3. Verify credibility before sharing any information. Don't fall for that search engine trap. 4. Be extremely clear and respectful in all online communication, knowing that tone is so easily lost. And 5. Ask questions if you are ever unsure. Technology changes rapidly, you guys, and seeking help is a clear sign of a smart user.
I really want to leave you with this final, vital question. How will you change your digital behavior today? You now have the knowledge to see right past the common misconceptions. You actually understand how networks store your files, how algorithms rank search results, and how to rigorously evaluate the media you consume. The power is completely in your hands. So, the next time you open a piece of software or log on to a network, what will you do differently to ensure you are the one controlling your digital footprint? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.